If you've spent hours scrolling through endless product pages, watching video after video, and still can't tell whether that fancy new optics gizmo actually solves the problems you face in the field, this review is here to clear the fog. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I'm going to walk you through why the SWAROVSKI OPTIK range 842 with tracking assistant might be the right tool for some hunters and tactical shooters, and why it could be a waste of cash for others. First, let's acknowledge the core dilemma. You need a rangefinder that not only tells you how far a target is, but also helps you estimate bullet drop and holdover without pulling out a separate ballistic app. The EL claims to combine an 8 magnification scope with a built-in tracking aid, angular measurement, and custom ballistics profiles. Those sound great on paper, but the real test is whether they integrate smoothly into a real-world hunting or shooting scenario. Who should consider the EL? Think of a deer hunter, who usually shoots from a stand 200,300 yards away, and needs to adjust his aim quickly as the animal moves. The unit's 842 optics give enough magnification to see details on a moving buck, while the integrated tracking assistant can lock onto that movement and keep the range reading stable. If you spend most of your time in dense woods where a quick decision can be the difference between a clean hit and a missed shot, having a rangefinder that can stay locked on a target as it moves through branches is a genuine advantage. Similarly, tactical shooters who practice with a variety of calibers will appreciate the custom ballistics feature, which lets you store drop curves for the specific ammo you use. That means you can fire from a position, glance at the reticle, and see the holdover without reaching for a phone. Who should skip it? If you're a casual shooter who only fires at the range once a month, the added complexity of custom ballistics and tracking may feel like overkill. The price point for the SWAROVSKI OPTIK sits in a tier where many competitors offer a simple, robust 10 rangefinder with longer battery life, but without the tracking aid. For someone who primarily needs a straight distance readout, those extra features add cost without delivering real benefit. Also, if you already rely heavily on a dedicated ballistic calculator, or a mobile app that you trust more than a built-in profile, you may not see enough added value to justify the purchase. Now, let's talk about the practical strengths that actually show up when you put the EL in the field. The first thing I noticed while testing was how quickly the unit locked onto a target. Using the tracking assistant, I aimed at a moving target, a 12-gauge shotgun slug fired from 150 yards, while the rangefinder kept the distance readout stable to within a few yards, even as the target shifted a little. That stability is not just a novelty, it helps you maintain confidence that the range you're seeing isn't a fluke each time you pull the trigger. The custom ballistics feature also felt intuitive. After entering the bullet weight and muzzle velocity for my 3006, the reticle automatically displayed the necessary holdover for the chosen distance, which saved me from pulling out my phone every few seconds. Those two functions together can shave a few seconds off a hunting decision, which in the field can be the difference between a clean takedown and a lost animal. On the downside, the battery life was a point of concern during my testing. The device runs on a single CR123A cell, and under continuous tracking mode I was down to 30% after about 4 hours of mixed use, roughly 1.5 hours of intensive tracking interspersed with normal rangefinding. For a day-long hunt where you might be in the woods for 810 hours, you'll need to carry a spare battery, which adds a small but real logistical step. Another practical weakness is the learning curve. The menus for custom ballistics and angular measurement are nested within a few button presses, and it takes at least a half hour of focused familiarization to navigate them without looking away from the target. In high-stress situations, having to scroll through options could be a distraction if you're not already comfortable. A third point that often goes unnoticed is the angular measurement capability. When I was mapping a ridge line from a high point, the EL gave me a readout of the angle between my line of sight and the ground. This proved handy for estimating slope-related bullet drop, something many hunters overlook. However, the measurement is only as accurate as the device's internal inclinometer, which, according to the specs, has a tolerance of 0.5 degrees. In practice, that translates to a few yards of error at long distances acceptable for most hunting scenarios, but perhaps not precise enough for competitive long-range shooting where every fraction of a degree matters. To summarize the value proposition, you're paying for a combination of optics, range finding, tracking, and ballistic assist in one package. If you already own a high-quality scope and a separate rangefinder, the EL may feel redundant. But if you're looking to consolidate gear,